Welcome back to another match preview as Forest will be hosting Wolves at the world famous City Ground. And we're going to be asking Dave, is it playtime yet? So let's get into it. You know I was going to squeeze that one in, Dave.
Absolutely.
Guys, we got Dave from Always Wolves, our good mate. Make sure you go and subscribe to his channel. As always, the link's just in the title. That little blue bit, click on it, it'll take you straight there. Show Dave some love. Davey boy, how are you, mate?
Yeah, a little bit better after last night's win. Yeah, and obviously looking forward to going to the game. I always like going to Forest. It's always a good atmosphere. And I'm expecting the same again on Saturday. And you've had a really good start to the season, technically undefeated, even though you threw away I was watching after the game last night. Obviously, Wolves had won and just went for a drink after the game, and we're watching the penalty shootout. And Newcastle missed, and I was thinking, what, with 2 penalties to go, and then you missed your last 2 penalties. I'm like, and I think the one guy hit it over the bar, didn't he?
Taiwo Oni, man. I think that ball still hasn't landed, or they're trying to dig it
Yeah, it
out.
was
Out
in
of the
your
trench.
hands last night. It was in your hands. All we had to do was convert 2 penalties, and you managed to miss both.
And
Never
Pope's
mind.
not even a great penalty stopper. It's just put it on target, it'll go in. Anyway, penalties don't count.
Well, technically you're unbeaten, aren't you?
We're unbeaten. We drew with them. For me, penalties only count if you win or if it's in the playoffs. That's my rule on it. But we are unbeaten. Okay, we're coming in with form. That was our B team that took on Newcastle Wednesday.
So far,
huh?
Who have you beat so far?
We beat Southampton.
So
we nearly beat Bournemouth.
Was that at Southampton?
Yes.
So you beat Southampton, who have just come up, and you've beaten Bournemouth at home.
Well, we would have beaten Bournemouth.
Did you beat Southampton, or did you draw? You drew with Bournemouth.
We drew with Bournemouth, but we would have beaten Bournemouth if a football match was 86 minutes long and they didn't cheat and they weren't our bogey team. So it's just all right. Let me
just so that I understand there. Losing on penalties don't count as a loss.
Correct.
But you actually beat Bournemouth because you stopped the clock at 86 minutes.
No, we had a moral victory over Bournemouth, right?
Because moral
for
victory.
the last couple of seasons, we've lost 3-2 to them at home, right? Willy Bolly getting sent off, your old boy, remember that scandal? Yeah. With Rob Jones. And then the season before, we were 2-0 up and threw away 3 goals in the second half. So technically, we had a moral victory. But don't try this crap with me, Dave, right? Because I'm going to ask you the same question. Who have you beaten this season?
Well, let's just look. We've beaten Burnley last night in the cup.
That doesn't count. That's Mickey Mouse. Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, we lost to Arsenal 2-0 on the opening day, which is, their title challenges, and we lost to Chelsea, who have spent £2 billion on players.
What was the score in that one?
Well, it was 2-2 at half time, and it was a moral draw. And then we do what we've got a terrible record in August. We've played 19 games in August in the Premier League, and we've won 1 since we got.
Seriously.
Is it September on Saturday by any chance?
Hey, guess what? It's 31 days in August, mate.
And
Saturday's the last one.
Darn it. We've only won 1 game in 19 attempts in August in the Premier League.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But we were also 19-1 voting to get rid of VAR as well. So
yeah. Do you know the abuse I got from your lot? Where were you lot backing us up? Huh? I thought you lot hated VAR.
You know what? Wolves have got a banner at Wolves now which says 19-1. So when there's any VAR decision that's going and any other team moans about it, they're just going to go, you had your chance.
That wasn't the Chelsea score, the 19. Oh.
No, that wasn't. No, that wasn't the Chelsea score. It was. We kept it a lot lower than that, and we scored more goals.
But you did look good. Just touching on that, Chelsea, it is probably one of the most exciting games I've seen in a while. I'm sure, as a non-neutral.
First half, yeah.
The second half, to be honest, I was laughing, man. You were just so exposed to left back. But it was a really exciting
you were
game.
probably thinking, poor old Dave.
Well, I was look. I never like when a team's been tonked and then we have to face them. But I think, if I'm right, and my memory's not great, we had the reverse last season. I think we just lost 5-0 to Fulham, and then we came down to yours. It was a 1-1 draw, wasn't it?
Draw, yeah.
Yeah, and I feel, could that be something that we could expect? Is the PE teacher going to have to batten down the hatches for this one? And has he got it in him to do it?
Listen, I mean, Gary O'Neill, he's reverted to a back four all pre-season from a back five. And where we got caught out at Chelsea, especially, was down that our left-hand side when Ryan Ait-Nouri, who's great going forward, was on his rummages upfield, and they worked that out, and they just basically said, win the ball back, get it forward to Cole. He can pass it out to where Ryan should be, and then we'll just be straight in on goal. And it happened like 3 times in 15 minutes. So there is a bit of the question with Wolves at the moment, with a lot of the fan base, is why is he playing a back four when we don't really have the personnel to play a back four, but we've got the personnel to play what's our tried and tested Nuno system, the back five with the rampaging wing backs, which Ryan Ait-Nouri is brilliant at, Semedo's good at, and stuff, but he's not really a fullback, and we don't look like we've been we've been linked 20 fullbacks. So, but he played a back four last night, and I've said we played back four in pre-season. We played RB Leipzig, the last but one pre-season game over in the States, and their Champions League, and we took them apart. Okay, it's
was that 3-0, that one?
3-0, 3-1, I think it was.
Yeah, I did watch that. You were pretty good there.
Yeah, exactly. So we played well with it, but not when you're playing a real game against top quality forwards that just come at you, and you've got to be a bit more switched on. We're very naive. Happened to us last year against Brighton. We in the second half, I think we conceded 3 goals in the first 15 minutes in that game as well. In the second half, it was almost an identity thing. And then we had a few injuries, and he was forced to change to a back five, and then we stuck with that for the rest of the season. So I kind of like the back four in the fact that we look so much more going forward. The way we play is so much more fluid. We look good, but we're conceding more goals, and you can't do that in the Premier League, because against a Premier League attack, who's got anything about them, now will exploit that. And it'll be interesting, because he did play the back four, but he did reference last night in his post-match saying that he thought we had the personnel to play the system, but maybe we ain't wrong. So I don't know whether that's a precursor that he might switch to a back five against Forest. But we haven't, playing Forest ain't like playing Chelsea's attack or playing Arsenal's attack. It's, no disrespect to Forest. They've got million, they've got such an array of attacking talent. And so I don't know whether he will or not, but it'd be interesting actually to see how we do line up at the weekend. So
is this going to be a game you're targeting? So have you got it down as, we've got to win this one? We've had a crappy start. We got tonked to Chelsea.
I don't think at this stage of the season you're in the must-win category.
Agree. No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying, is it like when you look at the fixture list? Is it
when I looked at the fixture list, our opening fixtures is incredibly difficult. We've with Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle, Villa, City, Liverpool, all in the first 9 games, and then you've got an away game against Forest, who are very good at home. So,
sorry, I was just practicing the
violin. So, I looked at that start, and it is like getting Forest away from home at the City Ground early in the season, when the fans are going to be up with it, especially against Wolves with the old, the MGW derby. There's always that little bit, seems to be that little bit of needle, which was never there before the Morgan Gibbs-White thing.
Yeah.
And so there is that. Obviously, it's a Midlands derby as well. You've got Leicester back this year, so the next best thing for you having Derby. Leicester. But like, you know, there's been that little bit of needle, which there never ever was with Wolves and Forest. But it's going to be a tough game. The fans are going to be well up for it. You know, it's early season. It's in August. Hopefully, we'll have some nice weather. It should be a great atmosphere. It's going to be quite raucous, but hopefully by the end of the match, it'll be quiet.
All right, let's talk about my boy MGW, right? Because you are right. He himself has probably created a lot of the needle by reacting, but you guys are freaking horrible to him, man. Like, are you gonna like calm down on him? Right? You realize now that it was a mistake.
Listen, I've never been one really with Morgan.
And I'll back that up. It's true. But I'm talking, when I say you guys, I'm talking especially the away crowd at him.
The problem with Morgan, you know, he was at Wolves for a very long time, and I think he's an absolutely brilliant player. He's fantastic. He's super talented. You know, I wish, you know, personally, I wish he would have made it through into our team, but obviously he went. Morgan, you know, during the lockdown, he went to parties and stuff like that, and I think that's where it started from. But he's a young lad, you know, and you make decisions when you're a young lad. If you was going to do that, don't get caught on social media doing it. And I think that got a few people's backs up, which you can understand. With, you know, he's got you know, a glamour girlfriend, which I think it's been harsh that anyone should ever go in on her. It's like she does a job and what have you. He's got a young family, and Morgan's grown up. He's gone from a boy to a man. He's got a young family. You know, he's got a young kid and stuff like that. I think he's matured a lot as a person, as a player. I think he's a very different player to what he was. I think the thing that really set it off for me was there was always some Wolves fans that were a bit like, because of what happened with the lockdown stuff. But when he did that in that cup game, Wolves fans, that kind of like switched everyone. It's like,
yeah, but you lot were on his case.
I get it. There was an element of the fan base that were on his case, but by the end of that game, it was basically everyone was on his case, and then Cunha did the thing, and it kind of went from there. And like, look, Morgan was with Wolves for a very, very long time. He must have loved Wolves because he was there from a young lad. He grew up and stuff like that. He grew up probably being a Wolves fan. He's from Stafford, and obviously he's gone to Forest and found a new home. The fans love him, and I just think it's a little bit sad because he was there for a very long time. So personally, I wish him all the best. And just don't want him to score, and probably don't do that in front of the fans and wind them up. I think that antagonises. You can understand why.
Does it make you nervous? Do you go in there with a bit of apprehension, thinking, "Oh my God, he could do it again"? Because you haven't really got that with Bolly. I still feel with Bolly, there's a bit of mutual respect.
Bolly is a great character. He's very quiet, but he's quite funny. Bolly is. He's, we had a little bit of a thing with Pedro Neto at the weekend as well. Pedro Neto with Chelsea, obviously he's been with us for 5 years. And this is the difference. It's a kind of a level of class, really. And he was jumping up and dancing because he got an assist with Joe Felix. And it's like, you've just gone to Chelsea. It's your first away game, second match of the season. And then you've seen players that have gone, like Neves, for example. He was just pure class, how he left and everything. To me, if you've been at a club for 5 years and you've gone straight back second match of the season, you don't celebrate like that. After you've done your job, you just have that bit of respect. The fans were really singing Pedro Neto's name before when he was on the touchline and clapping him and everything and giving him a lot of respect. And I just thought it weren't classy that the way he celebrated like a team that he's only just joined in front of the the Wolves fans, so that didn't go down very well.
It was a great assist. The way he laid it off to João Felix.
It was a great assist, but like if you're a Forest fan and you've had a player that's been loved and with you for 5 years, and he's come back to the City Ground, second match of the season, he's warming up on the touchline, all the Forest fans are giving him respect and appreciate him, and then he goes and celebrates like that, the Forest fans are going to be exactly the same.
Well, we had it with Brereton Diaz.
Yeah.
So when we played Sheffield United at the end of last season, they got a penalty and he scored it, and he gave it to the away fans, and then he was at Southampton last week, and he didn't enjoy that. Well, he didn't enjoy it much, did he?
Well, exactly, and it's like when Matheus Nunes left Wolves last season, and he downed tools because he wanted the move to Manchester City, and they came and played us, and he started the game, and every single touch got booed. He was substituted at halftime. We won the game because the fans will let you know. Yeah. They will if a player comes back and they've been a brilliant servant and they've got class and and stuff like that, and they come back, they will get appreciated for what their time and what they did with your club. If they go start celebrating like they've won the World Cup, when they've just come back after like 2 weeks, less than 2 weeks being away, you're gonna think, did you really need to do that? Now, that don't mean I don't wish Pedro Neto all the best with his career at Chelsea, and he'll probably play 10 games and be injured for another 15 because that's what Pedro does. But he didn't need to do that. And I just think with the situation with Morgan, I get why he did it because he was wound up. But it just took it to the next level and that kind of like thing. So, but like as regards to mine, I just think all that stuff needs to go now. He's a Forest player. He's captain, I think, of your team. Did Nuno made him captain?
Kind of. He's captain on the pitch, but when Yates comes on, he gives him the armband occasionally. He's a leader. He's starting to develop nicely into a leader role.
He's got a bit of edge to him, which isn't a bad thing for any player to have on the pitch. So obviously Morgan will want to, and it'll get everyone well. You want to perform well against Wolves, but you'd hope he'd want to perform well against any team. And Morgan Gibbs-White has got vision to play them balls through. He's dangerous. He's a very talented player. We've got our own version of Morgan Gibbs-White now, which I would say is Tommy Doyle. He's he's English, similar sort of age, got a little bit of an edge to him. He can ping a ball around. He can pick out passes. He's kind of like our Morgan Gibbs-White now. He came from City in the deal that we had for Matheus Nunes. We got him for 4.3. We signed him and we sold Nunes for 4.5. And now City are trying to get rid of him.
Yeah.
He's like, all that Nunes ever did was get splinters in his bum and break his finger. That's about it. It's like, see ya. How did that work out for you?
I sensed a little bit of nastiness coming out from you there.
No,
I've ever seen it, mate. It's first time I've ever seen it.
A little bit. Well, you wanted that move. We got you 45 million. We got Tommy Doyle, who's wouldn't swap him for, and you're ended up getting splinters and breaking your finger, and now they don't want you. So, like, well done.
You getting the claws out, man. I love it. I'm having a bad influence on you. All right, let's look at the game, right? Because it's an important one. Look, for me, I feel if Forest can win this one, we're definitely building some good momentum. We haven't beaten you since we've been back. There's been a couple of draws and a couple of losses and a couple of spitting incidents.
Yeah, you technically beat us in the FA Cup or the League Cup.
Penalties do count.
Was that on penalties?
Yeah, they count when you win.
Does that count as a win? Because it doesn't. I'm not
because that was going into the semi-final. So once you get to quarters and semis, then penalties should count.
Oh, is that the rule, is it?
Yeah, well, there's no replays or extra time now. What was that draw they did? Talk about favouring the Cartel 6. So the League Cup is just Mickey Mouse now. Did you see that draw?
Yeah, basically, it's a bit of straight. I think the thinking behind it, because we was talking about this.
Exactly revenue, isn't it? It's about revenue.
I've been watching your penalty shootout, actually. And because obviously they've added an extra couple of rounds into the Europa League and the Champions League. And I think it's the same week. I think they've done it so that they can play weakened sides in the Carabao Cup. Then someone drew West Ham, And it's like we drew Brighton away, and it's like,
Liverpool, I think. Yeah.
So I think it's, and then why were the first 4 being drawn at home and then the next 2 being drawn away? It's like, surely you go 3-3, but no, 4 of them have to be at home.
Yeah,
it's like
Man U as always continue to be at home, but that's all I've debate. Anyway, back to this game, right? I can't see that usual glint in your eye. I sense some fear.
I've got glasses on, mate. For lighting.
But I do sense some fear. Usually your chest is a little more out. You come in here.
No, that's you. You're always the one that's doing your desperate Dan thing.
I ain't even got any chest hair, mate.
Yeah. No, that's it. And like, let's face it, as I've said many, many times, everyone knows that you're a secret Wolves fan. We all know it.
I wouldn't.
That's why you named yourself after That's why you named yourself after our mascot.
I wouldn't waste my energy going to Wolverhampton, let alone secret Wolves fan, man.
Yeah, that's why you named yourself after our mascot.
After your mascot, man. Your mascot named himself after me, man.
No, our mascot's been Wolfie for years. You saw him as a boy when you went to watch Forest play Wolves or something, and you went, "Oh, I love that mascot. I need to call myself Wolfie so that I can't actually, because I'm a Forest fan, I can't actually say I'm a Wolves fan, but I can put myself down as Wolfie."
Oh man, you're gonna be like catnip to all the haters now. It's gonna be all over social media. Wolfie's a secret Wolves fan. It's been found out, exposed by Dave.
We have that banter, don't we, mate? I think you have a soft spot for.
I don't mind Wolves. I don't mind.
A lot
of the Midlands teams.
Do you know what, Wolfie? I don't mind Forest either. I've not got this. I've always thought you want to win because you want to win every game, but like Forest and Wolves ain't that sort of like
exactly. Yeah.
It's kind of like I went to Forest away a couple of years ago. We were in the Mackies. A load of Forest fans were in there. It was great. It was really nice, nattering and chatting to the fans. It was a good, nice. There weren't really any nastiness or anything like that. If you go and play the Baggies,
mutual respect, mate. There was before Morgan
Gibbs-White. Derby, there's that. There's going to be that. It's not. I mean, there is an element of both teams. That there's that real sort of intense hate rivalry for certain sections of the fan base, and there is that we one-upmanship. But like Wolves and Forest, it's kind of like you want to win, but you do kind of like you're similar sort of size clubs, really.
Yeah. And history, mate, and proper history. It's not like a Brentford or something. Do you know what I mean? Proper clubs.
You've been there. We've won things. We've won tournaments. We've won the top division. You won
the European Cup twice back to back.
Yeah, we didn't do that. We have been in Europe, but we've been all the way back. We've been all the way down to League 2 and come back. And I don't know how far you went down. I know you went to League 1.
That wasn't pretty.
Like when you've been through all that as a fan base, when you appreciate things in a different way than if you're just someone that supports a team like City or whoever because they win every year. You're proper fan.
It must be boring. Do you know what I mean? I was on a pod the other day and there was a City guy, Hamza, on there. And it was like, yeah, we started well. We still haven't got Foden in our team yet. Rodri wasn't in either. So we're probably going to be even better. And everyone's just looking at him like, mate, really?
Yeah, I just think that it's like, would you ever get bored of winning everything?
I think it would be boring. I honestly think it would be boring. It's just sometimes I feel you need that little bit of pain just because winning would feel so alien. It was like when we were on that run coming up, I was like, this is going to stop at some point. This is Forest. And then obviously it did with the Bournemouth match. That's a whole other story. And then you get to the playoff final. I mean, if Man City were going into that playoff final, it's already, a one deal, whereas we have to be nervous about it. That's part of being a fan. That's part of, you've got to have the scars, man. You've got to have the scars.
I agree. You've got to have the scars. And there are, and both fan bases, whether it's Wolves or all Forest, we've both like got a lot of history in our clubs, and we've both sets of fans have suffered a lot, and they've had a lot of pain.
Mm-hmm.
And I think both clubs. It's fair to say, I think Wolves are pretty much established Premier League club over the past 6 years. Forest have skated a little bit last year, but I think you're in a much stronger position this year. To be able to really start to establish yourself and not have that worry, because you've always got teams always write the likes of Wolves off and Forest off on all the mainstream media. They just write you off.
I've seen loads that got Forest to go down and loads to have Wolves to go down. Let me ask you, where are you finishing? Where have you predicted Wolves this season?
I write for the BBC now, so I do a
big shot.
I do a weekly article for them.
I've seen your articles.
Based off the pre-season and how we started the window, I went with top 10, and I think a lot. Yeah, and I still think that's possible. How's
that possible? You got a PE teacher.
I still think it's possible, but I am a bit worried about our defence. We all knew it was going to be a really difficult start. I think the first 9 games are really difficult. We need 9 or 10 points from the first 9-10 games, and I think then we can really push on. But we started slow last year, and we were pushing Europe at one point until we got all the injuries. So we have some brilliantly technically gifted football going forward. Some of the football we've played over pre-season. Even against Arsenal, we had Arsenal pinned back for 20 minutes at the Emirates.
Still lost.
Because we didn't take our chances again. And David Wright made a brilliant save off Strand Larsen in the first half. And then Cunha had a really good chance, didn't take it. And then if you don't you know what it's like. You do not take your chances when they come in the Premier League, you're going to get stung. You have to take them. And that's the difference. We weren't ruthless. We lost that game. Against Chelsea, we gave a goal away in the first 2 minutes off a bloody corner. Got back into it, equalised. We were the better team. Battered Chelsea, hit the bar, whatever. Long ball upfield, lumped upfield. Sar's off his line. We got one defender back. 2-1. Ball back again. Great free kick. Okay, second half. Come on. 62 minutes. We're 5-2 down. That's the life of a Wolves fan. So, after that, there's been a bit of a meltdown. But it is Arsenal and Chelsea. So, you start to get a real.
That's my point, Dave, isn't it? That's my point. Is I feel you may play into our hands because I think the fan base is thinking we have to target this Forest game because of the run you've got.
I think you think that as well. I think you're going into this. I think
we're not scared of anyone, mate. We got Nuno.
Yeah, and Nuno, we've got so much respect for Nuno, as Wolves fans. And I told you before he came what Nuno's like, the way he talks. He's got a reverence about him. He's calm. No,
I will say, all right, I agree with a lot of what you said. His presses are terrible. I love Nuno. I'm fully behind Nuno. His presses, man. If I hear that word solution one more time.
Oh, yeah, it's hard to play, but we will find solutions. We need,
They're really quick, man. It's to be fair to him, he gets asked some absolute stinkers by the press, yeah? And he'll just give him a yes/no answer. And his press is 5 minutes long. And you're like,
Nuno has never been one for wanting to be in front of the media. He does them because he has to do them contractually. You probably won't see him pre-season at all until he starts coming out with the stuff. So, are you playing 5 at the back?
No, 4.
You're playing a back 4?
4-2-3-1. So he's brought in his tactics from Saudi. Yesterday we played a back 3, but he's gone 4-2-3-1, and that's probably the majority of what we've played under him.
Interesting. That is. That he's doing that. But look, you've had a good start. Yeah, okay, you beat Southampton and you beat Bournemouth, and you've got a draw last night with a much changed time, even though you lost on penalties, but it don't count. Against Newcastle. I think it's going to be a real barometer for both teams to see where they really are.
I agree. Yeah.
Because I would say we've had much harder fixtures than you've had. You've had really, you should be getting 4 points out of Southampton and Brentford and Bournemouth at home. Really,
And Wolves.
Yeah, well, you'd see Wolves as I would say that the pressure's more on you than it is on us because
Hey, we got 4 points on the board. How many you got again?
I know, but the expectation's going to be there, isn't it?
Yeah, but your expectations, you need some points. It's going to
We
get edgy.
we don't have any expectation. You've got expectation because you've got 4 points. You've seen us get battered 6-2 in the second half against Chelsea. So you're going to be thinking playtime. The little cubs are going to be coming. Them big wolves with the teeth. They're these little cubs. We can tickle them tickle them there. And I think it'll be. I think the grown up wolves will turn up this weekend.
So
I think
what are you calling? So what are you calling it?
I think we'll win the game 2-1.
Oh, come on, Dad. You got 0 points on the board. You can't just jump straight to a win.
I can, and I am. I think it's going to be. I think this will be the game where we win. Well, I think we'll win 2-1. I think we'll win. I think we'll take our chances.
I can't see it. I think this will be tight.
I don't expect you to say anything different. I mean, you've kind of like on our preview, which will be out. Check it out. You've got my dad singing and his score prediction. It's a quite funny preview, but look, you can't expect me to say that I don't think we're going to win. I think it's going to be an interesting game, but I just think I don't know. I just feel like we're going to win.
Wait, what did you predict for the Chelsea game?
I can't. I think I predicted a 2-1 win to Wolves because we played reasonably well against Arsenal. We had a good season, and we beat Chelsea 3 times in a row. Up until half time, you couldn't really argue with it. We could have easily gone on and won that game, and we were just defensively bad. So I think that's the key. If we can make sure defensively that we're on it, and we don't just go AWOL. Going forward, we've looked really, really good, and I don't expect that Forest are going to sit back against Wolves and just try and play a low block, and like we struggle to break down teams that sit. You're at home; the fans are going to want you to go for us, and that means that there's going to be gaps for us to expose.
Yeah, but we're in a similar position, Dave. We're struggling to break down teams that sit. We're really good getting to the final third. And that's where we're struggling. So I think there's similar styles-ish is probably a loose use of the word, but there is similarities, I think. And I think it could be a fascinating game.
I think, like I say, I think it'll be a real barometer of where both clubs really are. Yeah. So, like, are we really as bad as people think we are? Are you really as good as you think you are? I don't, well, exactly. But I just think it'll be whatever the performance will be obviously important, and then the result as well. However that pans out, I think it'll be a really decent reflection on where both clubs really are on the third game, because we're kind of at this point sort of like where are Forest? They're up here at the moment. They're doing really well, but are they? They've got 4 points. Are Wolves really as bad as conceding 8 goals and being only kept off the bottom of the table because Everton are really, really bad and can't score?
One goal worse off than you, aren't they?
They are, but we have actually scored. So that we've
that means you've conceded more than they have, mate.
Yeah, that's true. We've conceded 4 in the second half.
So you've conceded 8 already in 2 games. Not bad. So Forest, on average, should get 4 against you. So we should tonk you like 4 straight.
The expected goal against Chelsea, I think we were 1.8 and they were 1.4.
You conceded 6.
We conceded 6. Go figure. Anyway.
Listen,
so yeah, I think it's going to be good. I'm looking forward to it. I will be there, of course. We will be doing a reaction straight after the match as well. We'll be chewing the fat on Sunday night about it, but I'm looking forward to it. Always look forward to Forest away. I'm really glad that you're still in the Premier League, because I hate sick and kick going to London. It's good to have some Midland teams to go and play. So it's not too far for us to
quick journey. Yeah.
It's not too
But
far.
guys, if you want to see Dave crying Sunday night after the match, go subscribe to his channel. The link's pinned in the title. All you gotta do is click it. Dave, we could natter on for hours, right?
Absolutely.
So we'll wrap it up there. How deluded he needs to go from being dazzling Dave to deluded Dave.
No. Whatever happens, got to stay dazzling. You got to stay positive. You know,
Absolutely.
you got to stay positive. You know, and you know, otherwise we can start calling you wishful Wolfie.
I've been called worse, mate. I've been called worse. Guys, if you haven't already, make sure you've hit that like button. Subscribe if you're new. Dave, it's been fun as always, mate. Go subscribe to Dave's channel at Always Wolves, and we'll see you on the next video. Come on, you Reds.
All the best.